type into the chat. I'll be checking it once in a while, and I guess it's time to go into the game. Alright, here we are. Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses starting just in this moment. We do have Wiz being banned out, as well as Skywrath Mage. Evil Geniuses not willing to play against Skywrath Mage. I guess this might even be Demon not willing to play against him. Demon played Puck recently against the Skywrath Mage, namely by Dendi, Navi's Dendi, and he lost out pretty hard. He actually got destroyed in mid, got killed 3 times in the first 7 minutes, I believe. 1 time with a gank, and the other 2 times were basically just a solo 1 versus 1 kill, which is, yeah, you know, Skywrath Mage. He's just a really strong hero. If you can't dodge his ultimate Mystic Flare, you get 600 damage over a time span of I think 2.5 seconds, about. And basically you're just straight out dead if you if you don't use phase shift, if you're out of position, if you're blocked in any way, whatever the reason is, if you're getting caught by it, you're basically dead. And that's what happened several times to Demon's Puck last time. So I guess they're not willing to play against them. I'm going to check how the volume is, I guess. Okay, never mind. So it seems to be fine right now. We have a clock ban out by Evil Geniuses after Bat was banned out. So Cobble and Nyx and Nuke's Assassin are going to make it through the pick and ban phase, which leaves us, of course, at the first pick Lifestealer, which is the current meta, the trend. Nyx is being picked up whenever they can, whoever can. I have seen about no games where Lifestealer was not banned, where he wasn't picked up. So basically that means you have a Lifestealer if you do not ban him in the first ban phase. Now, I haven't seen all of the competitive games recently. I am watching quite a bit, but there might be a game here and there where Nyx, the Lifestealer, is not being picked up at all. So we will see what Team Liquid decides to go for. Maybe a Keeper of the Light for IxMike88, who is actually not playing, as I'm just seeing. So they're playing with the stand-in. MSS, he actually played outstanding Rubik in the last game I've seen him play, and I believe it was versus Team Dignitas. Not quite sure about that one. Yeah, I think it was against Team Dignitas, where Team Liquid basically took on Team Dignitas in 2-1, I think, after Team Dignitas took over the lead with the first game. However, Team Liquid came back in a really nice fashion, and Rubik was just playing outstandingly. So MSS is replacing IxMike right now in this game. I do not know if IxMike is just somewhere on the road, or if he's just abroad somewhere, or if he's actually or if there is some greater issue right here. I don't believe there is one, since they are actually practicing for the international and do not want to lose their international invite. However, we do see Nyx Assassin and Darkseer being picked up by Liquid, followed by a Magnus and Rubik pickup for Evil Geniuses. So Rubik probably going to be played by Fear, in case there is no Sven pickup or such shenanigans, because that is a hero that is being played by Fear, even though Fear has rotated to the forced support role, basically replacing Milk, who got not kicked out but who retired, pulled out of EG, and is more or less coaching them, sometimes drafting with Fear, I believe, over Skype. And yeah, so Bamboo replaces Milk, Bamboo playing the offlane, Demon rotating into the mid. That happened about 1.5 weeks ago. And that leaves Geo on the hard carry role. Fear is playing force support role, and Beatus is playing the Ward Bitch or Ward Fairy, however you want to call him. Fear has been playing a really good Rubik as well. I have seen this one game, actually everybody's talking about, him basically stealing Sukuchi early on in the game and preparing some really nice ganks with his Invis, using his telekinesis and just setting up really nice kills. And then, of course, another game where he stole a Hand of God prior to the team fight, and then in the team fight, after using Hand of God, he stole Fiend's Grip and took out Luna single-handedly. And I believe it was against Team Liquid. And Team Liquid was about to win, but since Rubik played such an outstanding Rubik, Fear played such an outstanding Rubik, obviously, basically Team Liquid lost that fight trying to go uphill. We do see Gyrocopter being picked up as a third pick for Team Liquid, so probably going to be a Gyrocopter hard carry in this case, since we do have Nyx Assassin being picked up already.
10 seconds
leaves
remaining.
Gyrocopter, you know, Nyx Assassin Gyrocopter might work, but I believe that TC is actually on a spree with his Gyrocopter. I do not know if he lost the last game with Gyrocopter actually. But anyways, this is often played as a hard carry, especially with Team Liquid. The guys I have seen use Gyrocopter as a support actually is, I think it's Mousesports who sometimes use him as a gyrocopter support. Then there is not Navi, but let me guess. Fnatic actually plays gyrocopter support sometimes as well. Now we do see a Puck ban coming out of Evil Geniuses right here, so Magnus is going to be playing the solo mid for sure. Not against Puck. Puck does control Magnus quite well. I'm interested to see if there might be a Kurok Storm Spirit. Obviously there are other heroes Kurok is really good in mid with. Maybe a Quap. Quap has some harassing skills on Magnus, has some farming abilities with her Scream of Pain, basically allowing Kurok to flash farm the mid creep wave and to bottle crow, as well as Magnus is obviously doing with the shockwave. Basically this is the common mid game, mid play nowadays. It's basically only all about bottle crowing, using your mana ASAP, blasting down the creep waves and then re-bottling your bottle per crow. We do have a Lone Druid ban, so we're not going to see a Syllabear on either team. I do believe that I've seen TC play the carry Lone Druid more than I've seen actually Fear or Bamboo actually. Bamboo as an offlaner playing the Lone Druid. However, who knows, maybe they trained that. Maybe that's just a good ban against Darkseer. Mainly because of the Entangle. Once Spirit Bear actually drops to level 7. Gets to level 7 and gets his bear upgraded, he's just gonna have, or actually already starts at level 5 with those Entangle hits. Darkseer is gonna have a big problem actually to get out after some focus hits, and if there's Entangle proc, your Surge is not gonna do anything. In that case, you're likely to actually go down, especially with some support rotation in there. We have a Templar Assassin ban, so we're not gonna see any Templar Assassin who is picked up against Lifestealer quite a bit recently. I have said previously already that it's common knowledge, I guess, that TA has her refraction skill, and a Lifestealer is not, even though he's a super good hard carry who's also scaling very well in mid game, early game once he has his face boots up and his armlet. However, with a refraction and a TA on the opponent side, there's not a lot Lifestealer can do about her, because she has obviously her refraction skills, and it takes him a little bit too long to beat her down, to club her down, and in that case she mostly does win in a 1v1 situation, just because of her burst damage output in that case. We have a Storm Spirit ban as well. Prophet is being banned out as well, so I'm not quite sure what Bamboo is going to be playing. The Clock is banned out, the Prophet is being banned out. Those are the main two heroes I have seen him play recently. We might, obviously Darkseer as well. Darkseer is being picked up by Team Liquid. So I'm not quite sure what he's going to be playing in this game. Maybe a Magnus offlane, and maybe they're going to pick some solo mid for Demon. Some other solo mid, I don't know. However, we're going to see the Keeper of the Light actually making it through into the game. He's going to be played by Beatus, I'm pretty sure. The only case where Beatus might not play him is actually... No, actually Beatus is going to play Keeper of the Light. Never mind that. Ruby will be played by Fear, I'm pretty sure about that. Lifestealer will most likely be played by Geo. And Magnus, we will see if Bamboo or Demon is going to play him accordingly solo mid or offlane slash... well, offlane. Maybe safe lane farm. Since Rubik and Keeper of the Light and Lifestealer do have quite a strong tri-lane, to be honest. Rubik has his telekinesis. If you time it well with the Keeper of the Light, sort of assassin-like Luminate Wave, and an open wounds of Lifestealer, you're gonna be sure to get a kill in that case. Now Team Liquid does still need one additional support, as well as some solo mid, unless they want to play Gyrocopter in solo mid. I do not believe that's a good choice against the Magnus. He's always going to be able to harass him down with Flat Cannon a little bit here and there, but since it's ball crowing, it's not going to do a lot in solo mid, and he will have to get some damage early on to actually be able to farm creep wave in a really fast manner. We do see Shadow Demon being picked up. Maybe a setup for a strong tri-lane with Gyrocopter and Nyx Assassin. Shadow Demon does have the strength that he's actually one of those heroes that punishes you as well as Rubik, as well as Rubik does, for being out of position in a tri-lane. If you're out of position and you get disrupted with a Soul Catcher, you're basically dead. There's nothing you can do about it, especially if you're standing somewhere off of creep wave, and you're gonna get the likely proc, or I guess the for sure proc of Soul Catcher. I'm gonna be well. We'll see what Evil Geniuses will be picking up. I'm quite certain it's gonna be an offlane. I'm not quite sure what there is for him to play. Maybe maybe some sort of, actually no. Well, we do have Batrider being banned out. We have Druid being banned out. Clockwork is being banned out. Maybe they will play Bamboo on a safe lane as a carry. Maybe with something like a Weaver, I guess. I mean, Weaver can offlane, but most commonly isn't played as an offlane hero. What I could also imagine is in this case now that Weaver is being picked up. Weaver is really good tri-lane hero, to be honest. She has her Sakuchi, is really annoying for the supports, can dodge a lot of spells, and does exert a lot of pressure to your support, to the supports of the opposing team. In this case, MSS and Fluff and stuff. Mainly because they will have to buy wards, sentries, some sort of controlling items to get a hold of that Weaver, and that leaves less gold in the pool of Team Liquid supports, which then makes them, obviously in result makes them less strong, and for that reason, tri-lane gets weaker. Now Weaver, Rubik and Keeper of Light do work really well because Weaver is going to be able to Sakuchi in really fast and Sakuchi out really fast. Gio has been playing in the tri-lane mostly. I do think, yeah, EG Bamboo picks up Lifestealer, so in this case it will be Lifestealer on the safe lane hard carry role, more or less. So offlaner is shifted down. We have seen Bamboo playing Lifestealer sometimes as well in recent 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks. And Magnus will be played by Demon. So we will see Demon going up against Kurok, actually, to be precise. Kurok has picked up Gyrocopter, unless the last pick Dragon Knight chooses to go mid and they're rotating, which is something Liquid does once in a while. They do have the players to actually be very flexible and very flexible in their I guess roles, you could say. I mean, Kurok does play normally semi-carry solo mid, but sometimes they do rotate it around. Since TC does play the hard carries normally, he sometimes uses those heroes that actually can be played in mid lane. For example, a Dragon Knight can be played in mid lane with a fast bottle going on a max fire breath and then just farming the creep waves away as well. And in that case, TC likes to go mid, and then they try to give a really nice free farm for Kurok in a tri-lane and get some kills up. Now Darkseer is going to be played by Bulba. Nothing special about him. Playing the Darkseer, he has been playing Darkseer, Clock, and all those offlanes for quite a while now for Liquid, and he's mostly doing a really good job getting the key items up. Mostly Mecha to start off with Arcane Boots, and then he goes into either a Blink Dagger or he picks up an Aghanim Scepter. Sometimes I've seen him go Sheepish, sometimes I've seen him pick up a Pipe, but that is actually really rare that I see that. Now Beatus, Bamboo, and actually Fear, it seems like they are actually heading top, so maybe Bamboo is going to be playing in the tri-lane, and we're going to see Gio on the hard carry Weaver. They just swapped the heroes after picking, so I do believe, no, they didn't actually. For 8 players and everything, well, that's fine, just go play. Well, anyways, so Gio is actually going to be playing a safe lane carry. Interesting, so I guess that's something you can do either way, since both Nakes and Weaver do work really well on the tri-lane. Fluff and Stuff going to be playing this Shadow Demon. MSS is going to be playing the Nyx Assassin. Liquid TC is playing the Dragon Knight, already opted for 3 Ironwood branches, and therefore making some space for a fast ball after 4 last hits, or 3 last hits, I guess. And Kurok is actually heading towards top, it seems, and obviously Bulba is going to be playing. We'll see what items he picks up, if he's going to go on the solo bot lane, just to pick up some XP in case that Liquid actually does figure out that EG want to go aggressive tri-lane, which is most likely since they do have nice tri-lane heroes. In that case, they're just going to send Liquid Bulba down to bottom lane and get him some really nice XP start and a good start for his Iron Shell to farm without actually coming too close to Weaver. And sometimes Darkseer is being sent into woods right away to pick up a fast level 3, so he has Iron Shell level 2 and 1 level of Search, being very durable and being able to basically farm the creep wave, staying at his own tower. But in this case, I'm pretty sure they actually know what's going on with EG's lineup. I do wonder if TC is going to be pooled with a Tango or something. He has not picked any consumables, so we'll see, I guess. Gyrocopter has actually been pulled a Tango by MSS. As we do see the reconnect coming in from Darkseer right now. So I guess they're good to go, maybe? They will be checking out. Actually, no, that's not what I'm checking out. Sorry about that. Check out the stream. What's going on here? Nothing to be noted. Alright, everything seems to be fine. I hope you have no lag spikes whatsoever. In case you do, just tell me. I will try to fix it immediately. And yeah, enjoy the game. So we're starting right now, and Demon is going to be playing a solo mid. We do see some rotation coming up from Liquid right now, trying to secure their ward spot and their pool camps. Maybe even planting an offensive ward for scouting purposes of the tri-lane to see the rotation of the supports if they're ganking mid, or what they're going to do. Just really important to secure a really fast rush out of base. So EG is trying to actually get the root and kind of preparing for maybe some lift up into open wounds and a nice wave. We'll see if there's anything gonna happen. I guess both teams are playing fairly safe. Fluff is actually gonna drop the observer just in this moment, so they're gonna definitely scout out if there's a rune being used by EG and maybe a possible gank in mid lane, since DK is not the most mobile hero, and he will be going down to a nice timed gank. Haste rune on Bamboo. Bamboo will be trying to get. Yep, they're actually gonna make a go. Is he gonna pop open wounds? Open wounds on? Nope, no open wounds. Just a few lasts right now. Gonna harass MSS into yeah, not real danger right there. Just dropping below half HP. Nothing's gonna happen there. He will be able to solve up. So I guess just some harass coming out of Bamboo in this case, and he actually drags a wizard by accident, I suppose. Not quite sure if that was on purpose. And they're just not really steady right now. They don't know what they want to do right now. We do see an observer ward being placed by Fear on the top hill for the top rune. And we're probably gonna see Beatus placing maybe a ward on. Nope, sentry being actually dropped on the blocking spot for this camp, and while doing so, he actually is able to de-ward the observer ward of Fluff and stuff, and therefore, or X-Mike, whoever bought the ward, and therefore they're going to be able to control this tri-lane really well. Beatus is just going to be standing in the woods, trying to get a fast level 2 at some point, like sometimes opting to actually stay in the lane, and just going to try to shockwave into, not shockwave, obviously, uses Luminant Wave to get some nice little harass going on the supports and on the lane itself. Kuruk has been using only one tango so far, so he's going to be fine. MSS is completely at full health, and Fluff has some merge consumables as well, so they're going to be able to stand on the lane for quite a while, but they do not have a ward, they do not have sight on the rotation of Keeper of the Light, and therefore it's going to be troublesome, I suppose. As we do see Bamboo actually dragging his creeps to the other creeps who are being farmed by neutral creeps in this case, and he's sort of isolated right now from his team. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. He might be out of position in this case. Is he trying to go? Nope, not trying to go. As we do see a Luminant Wave being popped and a Rocket Barrage, however, Bamboo is getting out of it, popping some rage, and we do see the telekinesis into a 3-man stun in this case, so Fear actually providing some really nice escape mechanism for Bamboo. I don't think he would have been necessarily in trouble in that case, since there was also a Beatus Illuminate Wave coming up, hitting all 3 of those heroes. So dishing out some nice damage in this case. 200 damage for all 3 heroes on the opponent tri-lane is quite a big deal. I'm gonna pull up the lasts in this case. Didn't do that for a while. EG Demon actually picked up a double damage rune, and is actually sitting at 9 and 3 right now versus a DK who's actually sitting at 12 and 2. So that means that DK is doing quite well and might be able to get a head start on Demon. Demon actually opted for Skewer level 2, not maxing Shockwave, so rather just trying to more or less punish TC if he's gonna, in case he's gonna be playing too aggressive, coming too close to the tower, and to obviously set up ganks depending on what's happening on the map. Geo sitting at 700 gold right now, has 10 last hits, and Darkseer actually is playing quite fine right now. He has 13 last hits and farming better than the Weaver is, securing the last hits and not getting harassed too much by Weaver, as I'm missing the first blood on top lane. EG actually getting a kill on Gyrocopter, so apparently he was out of position. got telekinesis back with an open wound and probably a cuddle blast. Going down really fast. I'm not able to see that one. Actually, I'm really sorry for that one. We do see sentries being dropped by by Liquid. Actually, two. To try to actually, this one is an interesting one. This one is just to try to deward possible wards in the camp that might be blocking the camp. This one I do believe is blocking the camp as well, but it's a sentry that is actually hidden, therefore cannot be dewarded by another sentry ward. And I guess he's gonna try to scout out where the other ward is. In this case, he's gonna see it right now. He's gonna be able to attack it from his own creep camp, and therefore is gonna safely deward this ward. Or not. Actually, maybe proccing some misses. Not quite sure what happened there. The sentry is going to run out just in this moment, though. So there's nothing really that EG needs to defend. Beat is farming up some waves in this case. TC and Demon still dueling each other with the Bottle Crow. Demon just gets his new bottle refill and is sitting at 18-5 right now, where TC is sitting at 17-3. Demon is actually going to try to get the rune on top lane. However, it's not there. It actually does spawn on bottom lane. Geo opted for Tranquil Boots in this case, being able to heal up once the Iron Shell creep is actually dying or has died, and it's a common pickup on Weaver, since you either get really killed by being out of position, by having a sentry on against you, and in that case, you know, the movement speed debuff doesn't matter as much anyways, since you have Sakuchi, and Sakuchi does let you move at max speed. So if you're dead and if you get like hit 3 times, you're basically dead anyway, so you know, you don't need to mind about the movement speed debuff, and gives you a really nice portion of heal. Bulba eating some last hits right here, being harassed a little bit out of lane. He's gonna be fine though. I'm pretty sure he has something flying out to him already. Actually, is he going bottle as well? I guess he's going bottle as well, so interesting choice in that case. Demon farming up some more, same 24. TC is just behind just by a little bit, and actually that was more or less a rotation by Liquid, trying to get a gank off on mid lane but choosing not to do so, and MSS is actually smoked up in this case. Gyro farming his own jungle camp. That is how aggressive EG is able to play, and that is also what happens once you support leave your lane as a tri-lane carry, if you're playing tri-lane versus tri-lane. So Gyrocopter, I guess, is getting the max out of the lane right now. He's only sitting at 11 last hits, where Nax is actually sitting at 26 last hits right now, so Nax is clearly in a better position right now, getting more farm, and that will ultimately hurt Liquid's lineup at the moment, because Weaver is getting free farm, is able to solo 1v1, is not being harassed or kept in check, and Nax is obviously a hard carry that is getting free farm on the tri-lane right now, since the tri-lane is actually playing stronger, and well, we do have obviously Demon farming up mid, and we will see if he's going to be playing a really nice smooth Magnus, or if he's going to be setting his reverse polarities into dust, into some sort of weird position. We do have him being blamed by the Twitch chat train. Basically, yeah, he does it a lot. Sometimes he actually wastes it, actually does blow it by trying to cancel it. I'm still waiting for people to actually stop that. They're doing this a lot, and actually Invis Rune gets popped by Demon. Demon is going to try to make a kill on... There is a reverse polarity being dropped on TC. Screw her back. And there is Fear. Fear is going to drop a Fade Bolt. Is going to telekinesis him back. Nope, he has no mana. Maybe the wrong decision to not telekinesis him back. This is not a kill in this case. So really unfortunate that Fear was lacking about 5 mana points in this case. Otherwise it would have been a clear and easy kill versus TC. TC, however, is surviving this gank and therefore is going to be fine. And solo mid, just gonna refill his bottle, playing a little bit passive. Or not, I guess. He's gonna be lifted back. He might die now to some last hits. One more last hit. Nope. He actually uses magic wand, is gonna self up. Fear tries to harass him some more, and they're not choosing to go him. So in this case, really, he's surviving another gank, and Fear not overstaying really his welcome in mid, but he's definitely using some precious time to actually pressure top lane. However, top lane is actually apparently fine right now for EG. That Kurok had to go back, and Fluff actually is going back right now too, to regenerate some health and some HP and some mana. This leaves some space for MSS to maybe leech some XP here and there, maybe getting towards level 5 and maybe even level 6. However, that's not going to happen anytime soon. He's probably going to take another 2 to 3 minutes to actually get his really important level 6. Geo on bottom lane is sitting at 1,400 gold right now. About 40 last hits versus Darkseer with 42 last hits. So obviously this lane is going very even. almost as even as mid lane. The only difference is that Darkseer is going to be more useful in the mid and early game. Fluff is actually rotating on bottom lane right now, maybe trying to find a kill, as we do see Demon sort of in a troublesome position right now. We do see an Impale as well as a mana drain, mana burn actually on Demon. Demon needs one more last hit, Fire Breath is being casted and therefore he goes down. I forgot actually how this stun is called, Dragon Tail, there we go. We do see a rotation from Liquid Bulba right now, so they're going to try to pressure this mid tower, and Fluff is actually there as well, so if anybody tries to TP to this tower, they're dead for sure, and they're using actually fortification rune, but they're not going to be able to contest this. And yeah, trying to trade right now with top tower, and they will be able to trade it. Last hit does not get picked up in mid lane by either TC or Kurok. Kurok actually being in mid, so he's not going to be able to get the last hit anyways. However, Bamboo does manage to get the last hit on the tower, giving him some nice boost in his gold, in his cash pocket right now, in his wallet. He basically sitting at a face boots, Helm of Iron Will and 300 gold. Being really stacked right now. He has not gotten one kill, but he's gotten assist gold, a tower gold kill, and he is obviously free farming more or less with 50 CS. So he's going to be looking for a really fast armlet, and as we do see this career is probably going to get picked up. Is there some micro? There is no micro right now. There's the site right there. Miss MSS, one more hit. Why are they not using? Wow, no micro of EG right in that moment. Very surprising. I've not seen them try to juke that career, and yet the career still survives. So really important for Demon for his mid role, as he actually picked up his arcane, so he's going to be able to regenerate quite some mana without his bottle. As we do see some aggressive rotation coming in by EG Fear and Bamboo. Bamboo still not having his armlet. It's going to take another probably like 3-4 minutes. Nah, let's say 5 minutes. And Fear is going to try to probably get some farm now up as well, because he is mostly playing the forced role, so secondary support as in farm support, and he will actually be looking for a dagger or a force step to initiate into fights, be in a nice position in fights, and actually force some other people out. Kurk dropping his work barrage, however, is going to go down to a few more last hits of Bamboo. So trying to farm top lane right now, but without wards, without any sight, and without any real map awareness. Basically gets shut down by those two heroes on top lane, and that is something Liquid does have to actually care about. As we do see Beatus getting gold by TC, TC dropping Dragon Tail and just dropping some nice lasts with his dragon form. MMS, however, is in some problem. We do see a rage right in this moment. There is defensive disruption, and as I do hear another stun going up on I'm not quite sure, on Demon actually, as we did see Fluff dropping down, and Lifestealer actually getting a kill on Nyx. I have not seen this right there. So Fluff and stuff trying to save his mate actually has to pay the price for it, and his mate is going down as well, named by actually with the name of MSS, and that gives EG a lead of 2 kills right now, sitting at 4 and 2. Maybe even being able to pressure this bottom lane right now. Demon still has his reverse polarity up, so they will be looking to get some really nice go. EGG actually opted for the Hand of Midas. Really greedy pick, I might say. Liquid TC is getting lifted up, open wounds, and there might be a reverse polarity in just a few moments. You do see Impel going on Demon. Demon eating a lot of damage, is gonna not blow his reverse polarity though, is gonna use it on TC. TC goes down for sure. Demon will probably survive, or will he? Will he? No, he will not. He will not. Fear actually stole Spike Carapace and is gonna try to maybe telekinesis and TP out with a... no, not gonna be able to get out. We do see a double kill coming out for Darkseer, punishing that dive by EG. However, EG got a kill on TC. Overall, good trade for Liquid. Now catching up with 1 kill, and unfortunately they are losing their Dragon Knight. However, they do have Rubik up. I mean, they got Rubik and they got Demon. Demon is a really nice pickup. Rubik is a support pickup, so not a big deal, I suppose. But that Dragon Knight kill kind of hurt them. However, they're definitely the tower, getting some gold XP. As we do see an infest bomb being dropped by EG in this case. Geo is gonna just auto-attack this hero, and maybe Sakuchi through. Is he gonna use Sakuchi? No, he's not gonna use Sakuchi. So nice TP by Kurok in that case, and he's actually gonna get out just fine, and he will be able to farm up some more. Although he's only sitting at 39 lasts right now, in comparison to the next, who hasn't still not died yet, as far as I'm concerned. Yep, sitting at 202, getting 2 kills, sitting at almost 55 lasts, and therefore is net worth wise probably not leading actually. That Hand of Midas is paying off on Geo right now. Geo sitting at 1,500 gold, is hopefully going to opt for the Lincoln Sphere. As we do see a go on Beatus. Beatus is going to get caught out by MSS. There was a sentry down on mid lane from Beatus, however that was not catching the rotation of MSS, who basically spiraled down from the side lane. And yeah, easy kill with Vendetta, with an Impale, and possibly a Mana Band and Heads Up. I actually didn't notice if he used it. So yeah, Liquid finding some counter kills right now, and we will see if they're going to be able to turn this around sometime soon, because in my opinion, you really do not want to go late game with this lineup. Since Liquid does have a Dragon Knight who is really far, not really farm, but who is really tanky and who's able to push down towers, and obviously ancient camps, stack camps as well, even though we do not see any stacks right now. Liquid is actually farming the offensive woods right now, not opting to def top lane, or maybe they're going to def top lane, we will see. Maybe they're trying to find a kill on bot lane and maybe push the tower after pickup. However, EG is already at the tower and is pressuring this tower really hard, so this is going to be more or less a trade, or at least they're going to try to trade this tower. However, I do believe that EG is going to be able to push this tower faster, since there is still a glyph up on EG's side. However, Liquid just used their tower, and yeah. So we'll see, EG will probably use their glyph in just a few seconds. Or not. Well, I guess they choose not to, since they think they can def this. EG Fear already TPing back to bottom, and we will see if anybody else is going to TP. Demon almost sitting at his Blink Dagger. He needs like 500 more gold, maybe another tower kill somewhere on bottom lane or mid lane, and he actually has his nakes. Obviously, it's his nakes. Nakes infested into his body and soul. So maybe he's going to try to make a nice go with the reverse polarity on 2 to 3 people, and the Lifestealer dropping out with Infest, dealing some nice AoE damage, and maybe getting some fast and painful kills towards Liquid's lineup. Let's check on some last hits, as we're seeing Darkseer sitting at 83 last hits. Leading the board right now, he really got free farm on bottom lane. He should have his mecha up as well as Arcane Sip. There we go. And he picked up his bottle, so he's not going to run out of mana anytime soon, and that actually makes him really strong once he picks up his wall. And his wall is going to be up in about 1 or 2 more creep waves. He's probably going to go into woods to farm, or is he? Nope, he's going. Yeah, he's going into woods to farm up. So choosing the offensive woods to farm up, or not, Nope, not choosing the offensive woods to farm up. So maybe there is a call to go on mid and def that mid lane. He has not wall up so far. He has only vacuum level 4, which is a nice spell, but it might not be enough. MSS is going to use Impale to actually pull the creep aggro and just make it possible to maybe def this tower. However, they do not have a glyph, and Bamboo's just going to be lasting. Nope, Weaver actually lasted this tower, getting stunned by Dragon Tail. Liquid TC is actually in Dragon form, so they're going to try to make a go. Vacuum actually does not hit anybody, trying to just get Beatus Vacuum back, so he's really out of position. They can get a really fast and quick kill. However, that actually does fail, and therefore we do see no engagement right now. TC maybe opting for the Shadow Blade. Interesting build. I guess it gives him a really nice attack speed, movement speed bonus. Windwalk does quite a lot for you. Actually, no movement speed bonus. Only oh well, movement speed bonus when he pops his Windwalk. However, no attack speed damage as far as I'm concerned. Only attack damage with his Windwalk ability to yeah, land a crit, I suppose. Let me check it up. Actually, I'm not quite sure. Attack speed as well. So never mind. Let me not talk about Dota mechanics. So yeah, I'm actually missing my co-caster, who would be able to flawlessly point me to the mechanic problems in this case, or not problems. However, he has not been able to co-cast with me today. He's gonna be co-casting with me on Saturday, I do believe. So if you wanted to tune into some nice games of the Chris Invitational, do so on Saturday at 15 CEST, so Central Eastern Summertime. Beatus is actually getting towards his mechanism, so he will have it up in just a bit, and that actually gives EG really a nice team fight capability. Fear needs something like, for example, a dagger or a force staff, and in that case he's going to be able to just get some really nice spell steals off, not being caught by either a wall or a vacuum or anything else. However, we do see a Vendetta in this case and a smoke up, so they're going to use this Nyx Assassin to scout out if the smoke actually does fall, and then they're going to see where the guys are, and they're just going to try to hunt somebody down really fast, get a really fast kill, and after that probably push a tower. We'll see. as we do see Beatus, Fear, and Demon in some sort of bad position in that case. Demon is just going to blink away, is getting purged up by Fluff and Stuff's ultimate, however is not going to get caught at all. And we do see an Impale being dropped on Fear. Fear is getting stunned by the rocket as well. Is he going to be able to get out? He has Shadow Poison Steel. Geo actually is making counter go on MSS, and MS might be going down. Carapace is being popped, so no harassment right now from anybody of EG's side. We do see the Skewer back however, and a really quick kill on MSS. So MSS is taking a fall for a gank that is not executed very well in this case, and maybe some unfortunate rotation from EG's side for Liquid, because they were just on the way back and spread out and were able to see the gank as they were going back, and that just left them basically able to turn around the gank. And in this case, this is actually going towards the push of EG, and we do see Column being dropped, however it's not hitting any heroes, just clearing the creep wave in this case, and we will see if EG is going to opt to go back. I could believe that there is going to be an infest into Demon and maybe some sort of kill potential coming out. We do see Lincoln's actually going to be chased by Weaver, so Weaver opting for a quick hand of Midas with that free farm on bottom lane, and therefore is just going to scale really hard and really fast. And that is actually a pickup that got not punished at all by Liquid, even though they had the picks to go aggressive early on with a tanky DK. But EG just playing it safe and sound and using their heroes to their full potential. Demon not throwing any Reverse Polarities so far, is at 1-2-1, has his Blink Dagger up, or had his Blink Dagger up at 15 minutes, and that is fast enough, I believe. We'll see how this game is going to progress. Beatus has his mecha up. Fear, Arcane Boots, Geo, as I said, almost Lincoln Sphere. Bamboo has his armlet up since a while now, and we do see a wall, and Demon might be going down before he actually is able to drop his wall. He's going to skewer back. He might actually survive in this case. Now, is he going to drop his? Yep, he's going to drop his Reverse Polarity. There's the rocket. He's still living. We do see a blinding light, so no kill coming out from Darkseer. So Darkseer actually drops. Magnus is going to drop later on to a Dragon Knight. We did see Fear dropping earlier on. This wall, however, I do believe is actually not damaging anything. Actually ran out already. Bamboo just hitting TC, and he will get the kill on TC. Kurok is dropping low as well. Geo is actually diving him. However, he might get punished for it, and yes, he does get punished. Wow, there we go. Kill for Nuke's Assassin, as we do see Call Wave killing Nuke's Assassin in return. So this is a nice trade-off right there. A lot of kills going out to both sides, and nobody actually gets out on top of it, I believe. I guess you could argue that Nake still hasn't died, is sitting at 304, and therefore is getting more or less a good trade out of it. In this case, the support and the offlane and the hard carry did survive. Fear dropping once again, so he still needs that 4-step. He needs to be able to kite around any potential chases and be able to just get himself into a good position, because right now he's dropping right in the beginning of the fight. He really tries to go for the steal. He steals a nice spell, but instantly gets killed. So in this case, we don't see any flashy plays by Fear so far, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come up soon. Liquid is sort of getting towards the back foot position right now, because mid tower has dropped. We do see both top tier 1 and tier 2 towers being dropped as well. The only tower right now that is up for Liquid is the bottom tower, as we do see Geo farming up some more, trying to get his Lincolns up really fast so that he won't be able to die to what just happened last clash, I believe, since one Lincoln's fear charge is actually enough to get you out of a really bad position and just use your ultimate or whatever you need to use. Demon purchasing the gem. Actually, I'm not quite sure if he purchased the gem or somebody else purchased it for him. Well, not quite sure. Doesn't matter anyway. Fear sitting at 1,600 gold, so he will be looking for his 4-step. It's going to come up in just a bit. It's about 800 gold away. Bulba gonna actually opt for the Shiva's Guard. No dagger, no positional item, no Mystic Staff Rush into a Sheepstick, which is probably going to be needed late game for either Weaver, or Weaver is going to have a Lincoln Sphere, or for Nakes. Actually, for any hero on those 3 top positions or roles of EG, 1, 2, and 3 role, Magnus, Lifestealer, and Weaver. Both, actually all 3 are going to be a huge problem for Liquid soon. Krug is just trying to farm up his BKB. He's going to pick up his Mithril Hammer now. That leaves him 1,300 short of his Black King bar, and that is a hero. That is an item he really needs. So you do see Fluff just farming up in mid lane opting for Urn of Shadows, giving him some nice HP and mana regeneration through that Sage Mask and those 2 Gauntlets of Strength. However, it's probably not going to be enough for next engagements. He will have to look to pick up maybe a casual bracer, I guess. Let's check out what Nyx has. Nyx is actually picking up the first Gauntlet into next Urn of Shadows. So we are seeing 2 Urn of Shadows on 2 supports. I guess maybe they just opt for the regeneration and for the strength bonus. As we do see regeneration being picked up by Geo. However, nothing is going to happen. He actually does scout out Fluff. Fluff is going to be harassed. He's going to self-disrupt. No, he's not going to self-disrupt. He's going to disrupt Nyx. Going to be able to maybe snag some last on Bamboo. However, Bamboo is going to be totally fine. He has his Basher picked up. And Geo has his Lynx up. So, Demon will be looking for that reverse polarity. And in that case, I do think that EG can go high ground and just push down the bottom tier 1 and 2 towers. Maybe get a possible Aegis, as we are seeing the Aegis attempt right in this moment. Roshan kill is being attempted by EG. We do not see any wards up by Liquid, and maybe Bulba is rotating back into the bottom Ancient camp to maybe def this tower, to def this Roshan. However, Roshan is dropping really fast, and it seems that the double damage room on Demon, Geo and Bamboo are enough DPS to just get him out really fast. Bulba is actually being dropped back with Telekinesis, totally out of mana with the mana leak, as well as no reverse polarity by Demon. He's going to try to look for it right now. Is he going to use it? He's going to use it, and only MSS returns the damage, and therefore Nyx Assassin gets a kill on him. Beatus is going to go down to some harass by Bamboo, actually attacking. I don't know what Bamboo is attacking. Bamboo possibly losing the map awareness in that case. We do see Aegis being picked up by Geo. However, Geo needs to go back in this case, and he's not going to be able to make any goals. And this fight actually didn't go well for EG at all. Even though they got the Roshan, they got caught out of position more or less, got separated, and yeah, basically trying to def that Roshan to get the kill while holding off Bulba from a perfect wall into vacuum. But yeah, really nice fight by Liquid. Liquid actually sort of turning around the game, maybe, if they're going to push 1 or 2 towers now. Bottom tower is going to go down as well. Or not. Maybe not. We do have a dagger on Fear, and we do have Demon with his dagger, however, no reverse polarity. Lift up on TC, we do see Geo hasting through, and he's going to just attack MSS, and MSS pops his Carapace, therefore stunning Geo. TC is going to be porting out as Liquid Fluff is going down for sure. Are they going to chase down MSS? I'm not quite sure. There's no sentry ward. Actually, here's the sentry ward. He's going to walk right across it, so they do know where he is. However, they're not going to chase this Nyx Assassin. And we do see a deny of EG on the bottom tower. So overall, this was in favor of EG. Actually contesting this bottom tier 2 tower and getting 1 kill out of it. Maybe could have gotten 2 if there would have been a more smooth communication and focus of fire. However, definitely enough to get this bottom tower as well. There is a Glyph up right now for Liquid, however they're not choosing to use it because they know hard times are about to arise for them. Kurok sitting almost at the BKB. Actually didn't opt for the BKB, opted for the Helm of Dominator to finish it first. There is 1 stacked free camp in this case, but that's not enough to farm, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to farm this for a while now. Since this tower is going to go down, they're going to lose the sight on him. MSS does actually get open wounded with the telekinesis of Bulba. However, nothing is going to follow up. They're just going to last at the tower and going to get the tower in this case. Let's see. Yep, Bamboo does pick it up, so he's getting even more stacked in this case. Sitting at 3-1-5, only going down at the Roshan fight, which basically we saw him probably lose zero control or something like that because he was just attacking illusions. Not quite sure what he was doing there. As they do scout out the ancient stack, and he's just gonna wait. Nope, not gonna wait. I thought they might be doing some backstab on a possible TC ultimate farm, or maybe even a gyrocopter farm. However, nothing in that direction is gonna happen. Kurok is now sitting at 2,600 gold. Basically means that he has 300 more gold to go for his Black King bar. In that case, he's gonna be up for the first fights, I suppose, with the Helm of Dominator and the threats, dishing out 130 damage to all people standing more or less around in flat cannon reach. Both teams just taking a short break right now from any initiations. EG sort of trying to get some map awareness on or in the dire woods, and they're dropping a sentry ward right here to just check if there's any ward here, and going to farm the stacked creep camp that just got stacked by Gyrocopter's satire. So really, they're just using the farm opportunity right now, and MSS is actually farming really offensively in that case. And we do have a gem up, however, it's not up on Fear. It's, I think it's up on Beatus. Did he actually lose it? Or does Nax have it? Yeah, Nax still has it. Okay, never mind. TP back from MSS. So there it is. Black King are being picked up by Liquid in this case. I do believe it's not going to be enough currently if Fear is not going to go down right immediately in the fight, because he will be able to turn the fights around after Demon pops his reverse polarity, and he has not found his reverse polarity so far. He's sitting at 4-4-2, which is okay, but he has definitely not played a Magnus that had the highest of impacts in the game. Like for example, yesterday sneaking on Magnus, he went beyond godlike early on and just dominated the game with a fast refresher orb in minute 35, and that was just insane. We do see Bamboo popping his rage to dodge that rocket and to go, as we do see actually initiation by Liquid. Sorry for missing that. We do see a wall being dropped, however wall's not going to do a lot. Liquid TC used his Dragon Stance on, it's going to come off TC CD. Beatus is going to go down to Liquid TC. He is dropping his Black King bar. MSS, however, it does go down to Geo, who has picked up a crit. Bamboo hitting hard, and there is the reverse polarity on two people right there, and that is actually possibly a GG in this case. Kur actually getting picked up as well with a Blink Dagger into Telekinesis and Open Wounds. So this is a full team wipe for Liquid after they had what looked like a really nice initiation in that case, but wasn't enough at all. And EG surviving that initiation by far. The only one dropping is Caudle after he actually used his mechanism. So he did his job. He used his ultimate. He used his blinding light, and yeah, first Rex, melee Rex is gone for Liquid, and EG is actually looking to get the next Rex. I'm quite curious if they're going to be able to do so. Nuke Assassin is spawning right now. I do believe they can take this next Rex because there is no rune, no glyph up right now, and it's actually looking like that Desolator is doing a lot of damage. I'm wondering who picked up crit, because I did see a crit from somebody. No crit, maybe it was an animation of just a Desolator, I suppose. Okay, so no crit, and we do see the GG call already. So Liquid opt out at minute 30, sitting at 16-12, getting 2 Rexes pushed, and they do feel that they're not going to come back from this, as we do see 2 hard carries getting a lot of farm with a Magnus that actually got very fast Blink Dagger and some reverse polarities up. Yeah, nice game number 1. We will see if EG is going to be able to, as we do see a nice skewer back on the Bulba and Demon having some fun. So yeah, we will see if Liquid will be able to take a game and to maybe even come back and maybe even win the series like they did against Dignitas, because Dignitas was leading 1-0 as well. So do not count Liquid out. They will come back, strike back. We will see what they're going to draft the next game, and I will just play some music and see you in just a bit.